All right, we're back. I'm in my Dusty Dan outfit. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry though. I still live somewhere. Tonight we do a review of all the things that have been said about White Heaven from the very first start, which wasn't even called White Heaven. It was called We've Been in Their Heaven. And before I even get carried away, you know, I'm not gonna do too many. I think I already have the capability to share the screen through another service. I don't want to get too carried away with doing that and then get this laptop for whatever reason all messed up like my other one was, where I couldn't do what I needed to do. So first, let's just go back to the very beginning of how they actually who we're here with. The idea, the, the ideology and the ideas that are brought forth with being here with him. So first, we have a group of people who identify themselves as European or Caucasian. Be it as it may, these are a group of people who, in their own history, through the undigging and the uncovering of the actual peoples who they are, we began to see that they were a group of people who actually had no origin and have no origin and no understood root in the world. Why this is important is because the groups that they are associated with are groups that have origin. So much so that when we examine their history and we began to look at the idea of, let's just be hypothetical, Demetrius has a civilization. Everybody looks like Demetrius, the men and the women. Then another person who looks like Demetrius is an invader, takes over my civilization, and then expects everyone later on to understand who were the victors and who were the conquerors, right? Or who were the conquered, excuse me. Because there's no understanding in this premise, which is truly rooted in history. See, if you go back into the very first contact of the Gauls with the Roman Empire, and even if you were to go back with the Greek Empire, with the barbarians, as they called them, we would have to see that this group of people was just now being introduced unto the world as a feasible force. Now, the question is this, is that if they're coming down from the mountain, where did they come from? They didn't just climb up there, as if history has dictated to us that people who look as similar left off from a region and then went to another region, and then their features changed. Because this has not happened, even though Black people have been in climates that are different from that there in which they're supposed to be aboriginal to, and their features stay the same through and throughout. Gene variance does not alter. Having said that, these people come down in such a multitude, in such a number, and in such need, more in need than those who are conniving and those that are actually truly warriors. But because there's enough of them to to use the weak as a shield, it makes it very possible for a much more understanding and wise nation to fall victim to their own folly. But this is to their own caprice, not to the true ingenuity of those of a people who had been civilized and conquered. Having said that, upon the destruction of such empires, the continuity of the revenue and tribute was lost, therefore causing even more bloodshed and war. Because the people who were being asked to pay tribute were now being asked to pay tribute to those who were not even the people. Barely confederati. Please give me a time to break into white heaven. I need space to explain it all. And so, having said as much, you have a group of people who I have already told you on their own admission will tell you right now willfully that they invaded every piece of land that they own to this day. And not one scintilla of it are they aboriginal to. Having said that, people want to know, where did they learn these skills? I just told you, from the Romans and the Greeks, being in their armies, being in their cities, in their capitals, learning their rules of law, and believing that we don't need them anymore. We surpassed them. We're better than them. And also because they wanted to get back at the way that the men of these societies had been able to pretty much have their way with the women of their society. This will go into why you see so many statues of the people with curly hair. But don't worry. No true blonde haired, blue eyed man worth his salt has curly hair. Not a true, I hate black folks, because if he got curly hair and he's talking like that, he has no idea of his genealogy. And the other white folks whose hair lay down are laughing at him in their minds. They won't laugh out loud because they know. Having said that, we're going to skip forward from the, I don't know, 281 AD. We're going to skip forward roughly 1400 years. And we're going to pick up where there's a people who are within a group of people who were ran off before 281 AD, before the empire of said such Romans fell to pieces from home of Judea. And before such, their entire kingdom had been dismantled by the Assyrian Empire, who were from the seed of Abraham. Going forward, if I hear another fool tell me that leprosy is the equivalent to white skin, I would politely ask them to go and get online and look up leprosy. And then try to understand how a people who could have a disease that could be so degenerative, okay, that it could cause for certain parts of your body to fall off. As to why their bodies don't fall apart like that right now. And as to how they're all lepers. However, some kind of idea that the lepers are the smartest or the wisest or the most cunning. But these lepers, these societal lepers, these moral lepers, okay, are just, that's what I'm looking for. They're just wicked. I won't get carried away. Let's move forward. This same group of people who were pushed out of their homes by said such Romans who had in their confederati at the time, that's right, these same people who were coming down from the mountains. Some of the people I could assume or argue attached themselves to peoples of said groups, calling themselves the Assyrians, later becoming known as the Pharisees. These days, they're known as Israeli, whom at the time when the transatlantic slavery would have taken place, had their hands all the way full. Now, I know you guys like to believe that these guys had the ships that were actually going out. But would you believe, this is going to sound crazy, would you believe there were people who looked just like me and you who were building those ships that got black people sent over here? Oh, see, the story and the plot thickens. Would you believe that the same people who look just like the people who were building some of these boats are actually from similar tribes of me and you and had no idea what these boats were being built for? See, before I break all the way off into white heaven and before I give it all the way to them, I have to make sure that I cover a swath of ground, okay, that people can truly appreciate. One day, because they don't appreciate it today, not even tomorrow, not even 10 years from now. I'll be long dead, and maybe then they'll appreciate it, what I was talking about. As we live here right now in the heaven of the heathen, and I'm only able to say that on a device that the heathen would have implemented by forcing our hands to make sure that it happened. And it could be so. But back to our story. And these people are pushed out and they stay in a land foreign to them, amongst people who would have been considered Gentiles for the most part. And some of these people who are claiming to be of the nations are people who are genetically mutated, changed so much that their stature has changed, that their visage has changed, that their actual phenotype is no longer what it used to be. Having said so much, there was a group that was amongst these people who were forced to maintain the continuity of their genetics because none would mate with them. Because why? They were a cursed people. And why would you give seed to a cursed person? You must be a fool. Having said this, these people lived amongst these people and become some of the greatest that they've ever seen and helped them build institutions that until never have they ever been known before, and they are off the earth now. Did they help them build? Where all people came. And there was a period of what was believed to be tranquility, talking about the moment that builds up to them being sold and their own people who look like them building the ships. They come to seed into even the royalty, where daughters are taken and sons are taken. Explaining why all the people who are the people were not sent forth. However, by the time the genetically mutated child of what we consider a Portuguese or a Spaniard is seeking to do business, who is a man that you would call an Israeli, The Sephardic Jew, if I'm not mistaken. And those Sephardic Jews, the little curly hair, their big beak noses, made sure that people who look like I and you, whoever's watching, whoever's going to watch this, built these boats. And then people who look just like you and I, with everything that they had, were put on these boats. And for the life of me, there are brothers that will tell you right now that this never happened. That every man with an afro and a beard was already in America. And that this is all a lie and a sham by the white man. The craziest thing is, though, is that there are people who look nothing like me, who have similar features. Right. It's people who look like me who have not so similar features. And I'll explain it. You have people who are bearded, but their hair is not nearly as curly, it lays down, but they have dark skin. Their features are similar. Bell nose, all that stuff. Button nose, whatever you want to call it. Then you have people who have no facial hair, curly hair just like mine. And then you have the people all in between. I wonder if they really understand what's going to happen to them when they actually get the gravity of this message. That we've been in their heaven. And from the tragic mulatto, okay, unto the black gold meeting white trash, things that lead up to tragic mulattoes. All right? Unto steep pockets for shallow graves, and explaining why in which your ancestors, your people, my people, our people, got such a peace that was so it was undeserving to have happened the way that it did. But if the people have all claimed to have done the same thing, then why has nothing happened? You see, when I read the scripture, and if the Most High God tells a group of men to stand there and to watch what happens, in order for those group of men to be standing there and to watch what happens means that they have to have left from one point and come to another to visually witness this. So nothing did not happen. Having said that, it's frustrating to hear people say that I've prayed and I've prayed and I've prayed. And I simply ask myself, what have they prayed for? Because we're still stuck here. Right. What have you been praying for, brothers and sisters? Are you truly wanting to get away from here? Or do you want to be equal to the devil? See, this is the difference between you and I. I want to leave. I don't want to be their equals. I don't want to be around them. I don't want nothing to do with them. There's a difference between you and I. If that be the difference, because I want no thing to do with them. And for a fool to tell me that you have to be in commerce with them, I'm like, why? Well, how do you figure, once again, if we're talking about white heaven and this cookie that it is crumbling, why do you figure that people who owe a specific seed and then specific seeds and then the subgenesis of seeds within that, actually. They owe them a certain portion of everything, and they owe a certain group of people everything, all that they can think of, as far as tangible goods, things that I can hold in my hand and exchange with another person. See, the reason why I feel differently than than not just everyone else, but just other people. But I know almost everyone else is that I know that I don't want to be equal to them. That's for people. I want to be their equal. I just I just want to be hand in hand. I've heard people pretty much say that. They've drawn their line in the sand. While they want to complain about racism, they've drawn their line in the sand as if, well, I'm going to hold hand of white people to this degree. And then if they do something to me, then I'll complain about it. Wow. That's where we're at. So the White Heaven Review is that we've been through a systematic oppression, or is it a systematic regression? Okay. To do that which is righteous, so that way people can do that which is unrighteous. Hear me out. In white heaven, in black hell, the black man experiences two things: pain, disappointment. He can count on those. Those are two things he knows for sure that are going to come to him. It's a sad thing to say that. The joy is a sporadic thing. See, what merit is there for a man to speak up for his people, but for his own people to speak down on him because he doesn't want to wear a suit and tie and doesn't want to wear the monkey suits? Right. Because he's done that and does no good. Maybe not for this, but maybe for other things. Where it would have a far more tangible effect in my life. No doubt. Having said that again, we're in a junction where in which people can't appreciate that during what they call Jim Crow, the white man, as I love to drop that one on people because they love crying about the white man. The white man. What did he do to you though? Really, what did he do to you? Because I need to understand when those black inventors were able to create and make things that black people were actually able to benefit from, right? Where was the white man foot on his neck? Tell me then. Where was the white man when George Carver, okay, was doing everything they needed for? He literally, George Carver did so much for World War One. It's crazy. George, because that would have been his only name. Had he been born a couple years before, there's no way he'd have been born a Carver. That's right. His name is George. Greatest American hero. Don't ever forget it. Having said that, in white heaven, during a time where in which people claim that the devil himself put his foot on the neck of the black man. Let me go ahead and just remind people, you had black men chasing white women. Yes, you did. And you had black women willfully give children to the white man. Yes, you did. See, in white heaven, they can get the black gold to do what they needed to do so that way their white trash can live on. I always ask people questions like, what do you think a day in the life as a slave was like? Me and my brother Andre, we talk about this all the time, and we say things like, clearly, when I infer, or if you infer something, it's because you imagined it, that this is you have enough sensibility to put yourself there. So let's just say this. Slave is on the plantation. Okay. Woke up. I don't even know if on this plantation they have breakfast or not. Might be a little poor little plantation with 10 or 12 slaves, mostly men, and an old winch. So, whole bunch of bucks and one winch, right? And on this plantation, you see, this slave owner takes it upon himself, whatever his name is. You can imagine his name. Just be imaginative for a moment. Get into your mind's eye. And he's telling the slave, he says, hey, come here, boy. Today we're clearing these trees. The slave says, boss, it rained last night. We need to let it settle so that way it's not too dangerous, because we don't want to cut some of these trees down and then the older ones come out at the roots and fall down completely before we get done cutting. And he says, nigga, you're going to cut these trees because I told you. I said, okay, boss. He's going to do that. So he goes and tells all the other slaves what they're about to do. And they're like, don't this fool know that it rained last night? And that some of these trees going to come down crazy wild if we do that? All right. They don't want no problems for them or their children. They say, okay, we're going to do that. Then the problem becomes this. As they begin to cut, the very issue, that's the issue of why we're not supposed to cut these trees right now, comes up. And the silly peckerhead himself is watching. And he's telling himself, oh, I didn't see these boys do a whole bunch of things. That'll be all right. And as he's thinking, his trees falls on one of the slaves, crushes, kills him. As opposed to being concerned about the man that was just crushed and killed, this man goes and grabs by the collar. Now you see. A man who woke up at the beginning of all this. And he said, boy, how the hell that happened? And the slave in his mind wants to slap this man's hands down, right? But that's just his mind's eye. So in real life, this man's hand is still here. And he said, boss, he said, I swear to you, I told you that if we cut those trees down, this could happen. And before he could say another word, this man then put his hands all on this slave, beat him all kinds of down. Now, the crucialest part about this is that this tree that they're cutting down is worth 3 or 4 of these men as far as the price is concerned. But the fact that he lost a physical person, he's so angry and he's so enraged, right? And once again, no care for the man whose life is lost. Just the idea of it being his property and him losing it. And people get angry because I can just create a little scenario in my mind. I don't need to read a book. Okay? I don't have to have somebody tell me something. In my own mind, I can visualize what a person may have went through. I don't like to visualize what women went through because it's just too much. I just grit my teeth and I just put my head down. That's it. The rest of them tell you guys sweet nothings. I got a question. Once again, what good is money if they give it to you and you can't spend it because it's worthless? You know, I've been in a situation where I've been trying to express and expound something for years and years now that should have been expressed and it should have been expounded and it should have been understood by the people. But because they so badly want something different, uh, once again, visualize this 4,000 years ago. Okay. We could even go less than 4,000 so you could be like, we're broken to the kingdom. We done made some stuff happen, right? Do you realize those people never wanted to actually live obediently by the law? They saw there were people, there is no sacrifice you can give for murder. So why do you think the Most High God was like, the abundance of sacrifice you give, it's not going to suffice? It doesn't matter. Right, because you've broken a law, you've done something that goes against my constructs. That's unforgivable. Right. Having said that, you have people who don't want to believe that they have to ask for the the great glory himself, the Holy of Holies, to save us. So we're in white heaven, literally stuck here. And at this point, we're at a junction where we must overstand our enemies because we have enemies within and without. And the enemies within have created progeny with those that are from without. And that's normally the issue. See, in white heaven would be governed as every black man and black woman would have a spouse that's not black. So that way the next generation of children guaranteed aren't black people. And then that's the end of their problem. That's it. It's a frustrating conundrum that I'm in because when I say things like that, I put myself in danger. What danger do they ask? The danger of being shut down again because I'm saying things outright straightforward with no rigmarole between it. I don't need to go get an article and tell you anything. I know it. You know it. You've lived it, seen it, breathed it, and experienced it. It has been your existence. Do not lie to yourself. And this is the problem that we have as a people, is that we live in a place where in which the heathen reigns supreme. And as opposed to wanting to escape from the heathen, they want to be equal unto the heathen. That cannot work. One of my greatest concerns and my greatest fears is that people will not understand is that in reviews like White Heaven, Black Gold meets White Trash, there were parts where I go back over the Civilian Conservation Corporate Conservation Corps with the CCC. And anyway, it's it's pretty much in short a way that they got black labor for cheap and virtually for free. Okay. And a lot of your black leaders, for some odd reason, seem to just not talk about that. Doesn't matter to them. I don't know why? Because you don't matter to them. There's so much more than just telling you what is historical to the world. There's a true responsibility for anyone who's speaking to you to know what they're talking about. And I fear that we have more people who are speaking than those who know. Having said that, there's no need to fear about what we don't know, because what we know is what it is that we have to act upon. But the people who believe in their minds that they are better than us, that they have a mission that is greater than escaping the hell that we live in every day. As Brother Andre himself said, to be able to prosper peacefully, right? That should be the mission, should it not? That should be our goal. But is it? And because I can't, I don't know. Is that our goal as people? And how can we prosper peacefully with a group of individuals who will sick their children whom they've taught that they believe that we're lesser than humans to police us? And they believe it. And to enforce a rule of law upon us that is unrighteous. But because there are those who would see us to suffer from this oppression, because they themselves partake in the wickedness in its fullness, and they have not washed their hands of the blood that is on it, because their hands are stained forever. They see, because there is no salvation for them, that they shall not seek salvation for another person. And they damn other souls unto their same wretched, miserable existence. And yet they blame the white man. I am here to tell you right now that your enemy within you is stronger than your enemy without. Before we carry on in this white heaven expedition, they must know that I know, that they know that there are amongst us people who should not be here. And they are the wicked. If I am the wheat, they are the tare. If you are the wheat, they are the tare. If we are the wheat, they are the tare. There was nothing good from them. Nothing can be salvaged from them but poison. And having said that, they poison the people in their wickedness. And they have no bounds to their wickedness, because we live in white heaven. And they are being allowed to poison the people whom in which they would have destroyed willfully had they had the strength thousands of years ago, as the same tare that they are now, because they come from that seed. If I didn't speak to it, I'd be an unrighteous man. Talking about all the unrighteous thing that white men do is fairly easy, because they make it fairly easy to see. They're so wickedly evil, they don't hide their hand very much. And their lies are so, it's the word I'm looking for. They're so absurd and asinine that it would take one who is in such fear and petrification that their mind obviously cannot reason within righteousness to do what is right. See, that's why I get upset with people, because they say that, once again, the white man does what to them? But what does he actually do to them? This is my problem. It's because we have a cast of fools who will not blame themselves. They are the problem. They are the poison. And in white heaven, come on now, in your black hell, they have placed those who look just like us to seem as if they suffer and will be made to suffer if need be. But in all their unrighteousness, what do? They hate you more than the devil himself. They must be the father of the devil. Come on. To tell you that the white man is the devil himself, and then to push upon you what is unrighteous and wickedness. That the white man had no power to do unto you, nor could he force you. And yet you speak out of both sides of your neck as if that's righteousness, because you say the white man does so. That's how I know that their minds are tainted. They've been here far too long, and they need a true breath of fresh air and some truly clean water to drink and untainted, purified food to eat, because they are corrupted in all their ways. And they know it. And they know it. You know what scares them the most? Is that if they did the right thing and something positive happened, they might have an epiphany where in which they saw all the unrighteousness that they've done and how they can't undo it and how they'll never be able to catch up. And yet will claim once again that the white man hates you. And yet will claim that he's your ally. Well, he sells to you the same poison, nonsense that he calls the devil would sell to you. They are wicked. See, in this land, we have a true way of thinking, of believing that they're going to help us and they're not. In this land, you have a group of people, once again, if there are black people, and I've already contended that they're different, and I know that they're different, you have a group of black people who think like this, and a group of black people who think like this, and then everything in between. So you have a group of black people who were like, I want to leave and see what I'm really made of and test my merit. Then you have another group of black people who were like, no, 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 no. What we've made here, we ought to enjoy. And if anybody think I'm wrong, tell me now. See, Demetrius does not have it messed up or misconstrued. I totally have it the right way. And between these two groups, you have people who will do the right thing and the wrong thing and everything in between. And because there are people who have relation to either end of the spectrum, they can't seem to choose what side they want to be on. That's the problem. It's not white people. Once again, you're your own best friend, and you are your own worst enemy. I cannot stress that enough. And for people to try to tell you something that is different than that, they hate you. See, I love you so much that I'll tell you something that makes you uncomfortable. That makes you be like, if I ever see him, I'll slap his face. I'm so glad you feel like that. because I pray that you come into so many different instances and moments that you just have to appreciate what it is that you're dealing with. See, I level with people. I don't try to put myself above them and tell them where they're supposed to be in their lives or tell them how you're supposed to live amongst those who we consider the devil and how you're supposed to get along with them. See, I thought it was funny because I said something about nig lovers a whole long time ago standing up for black folks. Same nig lovers came to their rescue, didn't they? See, this is why I can't stand people who don't really get me and know me because they don't get it. Just like that one right there, because they don't get it. And they're sad. What? I'm supposed to not tell the truth? That the same people who are out there protesting, marching around, doing this, that, and the other, with black folks are the same people that they call the devil? You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. You can't have it both ways. How you going to lock arms with the devil? How you going to protest with the devil? You the devil. Your mama and your daddy. How about that? Now, having said that, since we're stuck here and can't get about this bitch, and there ain't nobody coming to rescue us no time soon, you had better wake up because you are in their land, in their heaven. People talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been talking about Tulsa. Years and years and years I've been talking about Tulsa. Been talking about how they've been doing black people for years and years and years. It just took some of these people, it took them this long to get sensitive about their people again. And for all of them, it's about the money. Cat's got 100,000 followers and ain't did nothing. And ain't did no thing. And one of those 100,000 people, not in one of those people's communities, have you just showed up and just splurged on it? Because I'm like, bro said he live in the hood. Let me go take care of his whole hood. We're going to throw a small block party. We're going to get the OGs to make sure that don't nothing really jump off too crazy. And we're going to make it cool out here tonight. That type of thing. Because they're not really about that. Because they're scared all the way. And they can't tell you that they got an extremist protection order holding them back, getting around from state to state. Or let alone making it to where traversing and just doing things like that are more difficult to do. You understand? Having said that, one of the biggest problems that I have with black people still, once again, is the fact that they want to huggy up with the devil. How you going to tell me that no justice, no peace, and the person on the on the left or right of you looks just like the person who could have killed the man that you so-called protesting for? I never said nothing before. Right. I never said I wanted nig lovers to stand up for me. I just knew what was going to happen. And now here they are sad, angry about it. Because their movements were hijacked by people who don't look a thing like them. Do you know that this movement has turned into the Chaz zone? Whatever that is, the The something autonomous zone. I can't think what the hell. I'm never gonna look it up. I'm gonna let it be. It's out here in Seattle. I haven't had to go to Seattle, and who knows how long. Right. I'm not messing around with none of this stuff. I let the protesters protest. I don't protest. Okay. Can you dig it? I take real physical action when need be. All that protesting stuff, that's for the amateurs. They can have that. And the poop butts, they can have that. But as for you, you had better do the right thing. You had better pray that the Most High God come and save you. Save us all. Forgive you for your unrighteousness. Forgive us. He can't forgive. You ask for yourself, like I asked for myself. Ask for you to be forgiven. See, this is the problem. They're not hearing anyone tell them this. Ask for the Most High God to rescue us from the worst of the worst and to separate us from all those who believe us to be the same. Make a division. They've never asked for these things. They don't know. They don't know. They don't even believe. Their minds aren't even right. And their leaders would tell them to do anything else. You're stuck in white heaven. You're not getting out the easy way. It'll be the hard way. Okay? Can you dig that? So if you want to leave here with much loot one day, if that's a possibility for you and I, because they're going to have to give it up. And trust me, they they know this is the truth. There's nothing unrighteous about what I'm saying. There's nothing untrue about what I'm saying. Everything in the background, man, this whole building could fall down infinite number of times for me and my people. All this whole city, this whole country burnt down, destroyed all that infinite number of times for me and my people to get what's ours. See, that's the difference between one and me and them, is that I'm not afraid to say it. In order for us to get ours, this place has to go. So I'm just waiting for it to actually be on its last legs. And I don't have to blow the man down. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do none of that. Okay? No, no, no. We don't have to do none of that. Nope. We're just going to chill and watch it happen. Because if you've ever watched a house catch on fire, see, the most interesting part about a fire, you see, is when the whole thing is engulfed, right? The whole home is engulfed, right? There's a point where if the house is still a solid structure, it just collapses in on itself. I tell you right now, brothers and sisters, that if we are in a house on fire, if we are in a heaven on fire, then we must simply wait for that house to fall apart. We can do nothing else. It'll cost you so much more. People feel like, oh, Demetrius, I got to do this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, you better pay your rent, your mortgage, your bills, whatever. Sure, do that. That's fine. But if you don't have an understanding that Spectra is going to act outside of you, the Most High God does not want, he's not asking for your permission to do what he's going to do. That's the problem with most people, is that they can't see that. They don't want to see that. They don't want to understand that. That can't be for them. There's no way. There's no way. It's impossible that the Most High God would put them in a position to be cast off like that. We're in white heaven. We've been here. Whether it's the black, gold, and white trash, okay. Whether it's the rapture that already happened, okay. Can you dig it? All right. Smooth criminals, all that stuff. Everything. I've told you guys who they are, what we're dealing with, the land we're in. Let me ask you a question. Don't y'all think it's just awkward that a brother was on a mission, on a full-blown mission to drop bombs on him, and they shut me all the way down? See, this is why I know that the brothers and sisters who are out there, they got the memo. You better drop whatever he's saying. Let it go. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, they're hearing me more than you guys think, and I know they are. And it's just unfortunate that they don't want to tell the truth to their own people because they're afraid of what could happen to them. That's the truth. There's nothing outside of that. They're afraid of what might happen to them. That's why you can see my face, because I'm not so worried about that. At this point, all somebody can really do is kill me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the worst that's gonna happen. And nobody's living forever, so you can't be so afraid to die that you're not gonna do the right thing. But 98% of people suffer from cowardice. Suffer from it. It's a curable disease, though, you see. It's very curable. But most people suffer from a disease that they don't even know that they suffer from. One moment. See? Before I even say anything else, because I got, my people coming up, and don't worry, they're not going to do much. But it's just funny how folks don't get it. You know what I'm saying? They don't put into their minds that they have to do the right thing no matter what it costs. And because they're so unwilling to do the right thing, you see, right? And their selfishness, they're so willing to do the wrong thing, and because they don't care about anything else. See, that's what makes it so easy for me to speak up. It's because I'm not so selfish that I won't speak out of outside of myself. That's right. You see, I don't know what made that person right there sad, but something about that is true because it's real. And they know that they're a selfish person. I couldn't tell you what it is, but that's too bad. One moment. Hey, bro, be quiet. You see, because once again, I'm so unselfish, right, that I willingly communicate with people so that way they know what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? Not so that way they don't know what's going on. But that's how life goes. That's how smart you have to be. That's how tuned in you have to be. And you have people who are out here, who are your so-called leaders, who won't speak up the right things to you because they're afraid to say what it is that might get them actually hurt. See, the funniest thing is that everybody wants it to be their way, but they do no work for it to be their way. I heard a dude who, let's check this right here out. I thought this was crazy. Let me just tell you how deep White Heaven goes. A character who calls himself Tariq Nasheed had Snoop Dogg come through and get on his live stream. Bro, just walk around and just sit down on the couch, bro. My man's had this dude get on his live stream. Now, what I thought was funny is because Professor Black, Tariq are all supposed to be a coalition. I swear on everything I love. Tariq, Professor Black, Black Authority, and a few other people all went in on Snoop because he said what he said to Gayle King because he popped some real smoke at her right on, and then he had to retract all that. But people, here's the thing, though. None of them came at Gayle King's neck like that. But they had the nerve to really get on Snoop. These are the people that you're talking to, listening to, dealing with, giving your money to. Can you dig it? Right. If I volunteer a couple dollars of my money, it's because I feel like somebody is doing something that is the right thing to do. Normally, it's because they're a brother who is a father, and the system's just trying to shake him down. All right, and it ain't good when brothers are looking like willow trees. Having said that, your so-called leaders are cowards. And I tell that to them, they know I don't care. I swear to God, they know I don't care. Can you dig it? 0% do I give a fuck about how they feel. The same sword that's sitting right here, right by my side, I promise, I'll slap them right across their forehead, right down the middle of their face with it. Trying to crush right. I don't even know. You have no idea, okay, who you're dealing with. Not afraid to hurt somebody and not afraid to give it to that ass. Your leaders, though, your so-called black spokesmen and spokeswomen, cowards on another level. Talking about I'm the voice and you're the feet. What kind of coward talks like that in White Heaven and won't get down? I don't want them around here. So I need y'all understand this. I don't want them around here. I don't, because they're cowards. Word? That's right. They're afraid. They have no idea, do they? That they're afraid of everything that's going to happen to them. The same people who left are going to be the same people who normally. I promise to God, the same book of Enoch that I read that said that there's going to be a day of blood. The same cowards who left come back. It doesn't matter. You're still a coward. You're still a coward. I want you to know that. Right. The book of Enoch, as it says, there's going to be a day of blood. And in that day of blood, those people are going to get hurt something so vicious, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. And know what I'm going to do for them? Nothing. Did I ask the sun to brighten up? No, I didn't. I don't believe in augury. But you know what? If the Most High God is thinking that I told a little bit of truth and it just brightened up in the room for half a second, then let it be so. There be not a lion bone in my body. The people you listen to are cowards. And I might be one of the only ones willing to go out there and stand and die on what I say. And that's a fact. It takes no thing. Trust me, I'm a trained man. You give me an assault rifle versus a percentage of the world's population. You give me a gun. I don't give a fuck if it's a Navy SEAL or not, okay? If it's just a gun versus a gun, my chances are as good as anybody's, and I'm probably laying that person down. I'm so good, y'all. You just don't know. I train like that. I want to be like that. That's my purpose, to be like that. A zealot in my own right, for my own cause. Can't ask you to be like that. All I can do is encourage you to pray to the Most High God that he come and save us. Oh, that's right, huh? Because I never lose sight of my mission. If that's the money, if they could give me money, then that's the money I want. If there's a currency that they could give me, okay, if there's something of true valuable, tangible goods, pray. Because you think you're so smart. You think you know so much. While you're still stuck here and fucked here in white heaven with your smart asses. Can't save your own family members. Can't save yourselves. And are praying to be equal to the fucking devil. That shit right there makes me sick. Does anyone know how that, does anybody understand what that sounds like? I want to be equal to the devil. But I can't save my own mother or father from living in a nursing home and getting abused by somebody who don't love their own mother or father. That's white heaven. It's never changed. It's always been the same. Oh, look at them. Once again, one of these days, they're going to realize that their enemies, who they claim are their enemies, respect me far more than they'll ever respect them. There's white people who don't even look me in the face because they're afraid of me. I stand but 5'8", y'all. 155, maybe $160. Oh, I'm just a fucking human bear. People don't even look me in my face sometimes. Because the sincerity of what it is that I know that I'm engaging. There's a level of conviction that you must have. I pray to the Most High God for conviction, that I don't lose it, that I possess it in the most important moments. See, this is what makes the difference between a man who is convicted and a coward. They're actually almost the same person. Okay? Because a coward is convicted to not doing anything that will cause them bodily harm or that's going to change the status quo of their situation. So they have a level of conviction. Let's not get it wrong. Like a coward is just an all out, they won't get their hands dirty. That's not what I said. I said they're a coward. And I gave you my definition just now. Afraid to get hurt when it matters most and don't want the status quo to change. That's a coward. And there's a level of conviction that they have. I'm talking about true conviction to stay the course. Where it's like, yeah, the ship's going down. Okay, still go. This is what we're supposed to do. So still go the course. So that way they know that you can never send another ship like this out here ever again. They can't call us failures. They can't call us quitters. They can't assume anything other than the fact that blood is on their hands and they need to fix themselves. Cowards, they are, because they won't speak like that. Like I told you, this White Heaven review is way different because I couldn't care less about how a punk feels about what I'm saying. These are the same people who beg black people to do this, that, the other. I'm not asking you to do a thing. I know for a fact that somebody's going to hear it. They're going to pick up whatever they want to pick up, and they're going to disseminate it, and I'm going to be able to listen, and I'm like, oh, they've been listening to me. This is how it goes. Because I'm a true black man. And I actually love black people. And there's no disseminating it the wrong way. He loves niggas for sure. His nig love at all time high. Just don't love those that don't love themselves. And I damn sure don't love those that don't love us. You got scary cowards running around here thinking that life is going to be okay. Their heads are buried in the sand, people. Living and knowing, being, you have to be able to differentiate. I'm going to live in the moment of right now because I'm here right now. You see what I'm saying? That's why I think it's crazy that people don't appreciate the level of communication that it is that I bring to them. Once again, it doesn't matter. Man, this could get 0. It could have got no views. Demetrius would have said the same thing, y'all. Well, save for the fact that people came in and left and did all the other extra stuff, prompted me to just go all in. But outside of those things, I'd have said all the same things. I don't move the goalpost. I've said the same thing for forever. Does anybody remember when I made my white trash review? And I pointed out the fact that the reason why they actually had the Civil War so that way they could kill off an entire population of people that would be considered biracial? No? This is white heaven. Only in white heaven can you do that, dog. Right. I want y'all to really believe. Think about this. If black people actually ran this land, do you think that they would have started a war? Follow me now. Follow me. They were taking people from everywhere. So poor Dusty Dan, okay, who can't afford nothing, who is him, his wife, his son, and his 3 daughters. And it's his buck slave and his buck slave's wife. And the buck slave, he doesn't know it, laying wood to one of his daughters, gets her pregnant. You could put the year on it so that way you find your own year. Just know that this person's going to be fighting in the Civil War. Right, because they can pass. But there's some folks who know that boy right there, they know he ain't one of us. So get him out there on the front line. It's okay. Oh, that's right. Patrick Mahomes, Patty Mack. You don't think they were sending guys like that to the front line to get their faces shot off? So they could just try to wash away all the unrighteous things they had done to the man and woman black slave, be it aboriginal to the land or not? See, when there's a level of honesty that you bring to the game, there's just certain things that you just can't deny. If a person calls me a strange Negro, guess what that means to Demetrius? That means that you've been dealing with other Negroes who I don't look nothing like. No? No? So that means that these Negroes, listen, check this right here out. If they had curly hair, they didn't have beards. And if they had beards, they didn't have curly hair like this. The grade of your hair is different. What grows on your face is different. It's funny how y'all you don't even appreciate. And once again, they murdered an entire, what you call Let's just say this. In the Civil War, if you tally up all the casualties, no less than 1/3 of those people have black blood in them, to the degree that they're at least a quarter black. No less. I'm trying to tell y'all, they fought that war to kill off an entire breed of people who they were like, they're not even supposed to be here. It's hard to believe that. Because right now they're like, let's hold hands. Let's be friends. Yeah. We're so sorry that our grandpapas raped your grandmamas. We're so sorry. We're so sorry that your grandpapa was forced to lay down with strange white women and give them children and then was killed. We're so sorry. Right. And they're like, well, how am I still here? Because it's like, your grandpapa obviously had more than one child, fool. Get outside yourself. Once again, back to white heaven. This is the problem with folks. There's something in their minds that they actually believe that they think that living on a plantation was fun for us. That's how I know that when they make these jokes about massa and butter biscuits and shit like that, they really have no concept of what the fuck was going on. Could you imagine? You thought of a fucking getaway plan. You actually ran away. They brought you back and they cut your leg off or cut off a part of your fucking leg. That's going to change your whole mind, trust me. Could you imagine, though, if it was your wife who told on you? Y'all wonder where these... Who almost said something I ain't supposed to say. Y'all wonder where females get calling the cops on your black ass from. Don't worry. Oh, see, that goes all in. I don't... My cold-hearted, cutting-edge technology of the mind never stops. It needs no break, really. The people need a break because they can't take it. So let them take one. Let them take two if they need be. Let me ask you all this, though. What would you do right now in your mind? I didn't ask you. I said right now. I didn't say out loud. In your mind, what would you do if you found your significant other or your significant other acceptable in a position where in which someone who you call an oppressor now, who would have been known as your master or your lord back then, okay, had them in a sexually compromised position? Because let's not act like the white men only were raping black women. They were raping black boys and black men. See, this is why I think it's so crazy that they go out of their way to talk about raping black women when it's like, well, go ahead. If y'all gonna tell the truth, tell the fucking truth. And for these black dudes to be out here talking about, well, you know, the white man, he put his seed in all these different black. It's like, dude, look, bro, tell the truth, dog. Tell the truth, dog. Tell the real fucking truth. Okay? These dudes is running around here flaming faggots, homosexuals right now to this day. And you tell me that they wasn't flaming faggots, homosexuals back then? Okay. Okay. You got the right ears listening. Because I want to hear that one. I'd love to hear that one on how that's going to work out. Do y'all even get the concept of them raping another man, of them forcing themselves on another man? These are people who were supposed to die, and they're victim to die too, so that way they wouldn't try to go do that to someone else or have to live with the shame of that. Ah, how funny is that, huh? Right, that's biblical for you, though. And these people were able to live. See, once again, there was no punishment paid to them. And I know people are like, well, what's this got to do with right now? There's no punishment paid to them now. Has anybody gotten even for all the bloodshed? When? Because I'm not a criminal. And if I was a criminal, trust me, I wasn't out there doing anything to anybody who was working for it. So your everyday run-of-the-mill Johnny, Jimmy, Joey, Bobby, Timmy, Rick, and Greg would have been off my fucking list. Darlene, Barbara, and everybody else off the list. Because there's a level of class you must have. So I think it's funny, once again, that you have all these black people who run around here, say these things, say all these things, and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. It makes me sick. I had a cat yesterday. I won't say his name, but some of y'all probably know the gentleman. Guy has a channel trying to tell black people about how to make money. He says that praying won't work. I simply told the brother that I pray all the time and it works for me. In the comment section, some out of nowhere burner profile comes up with the name FBI with the FBI insignia on it. Come on, right? We go into this diatribe, back and forth, and it ends with me telling this person that, hey, I never said anything about numerology or soothsaying, which is what they're doing, because you can't know. I don't give a damn if a person lives in a forest their whole life. They can't tell you how many trees are going to fall today. How about that? It's wickedness that they got black folks engaged in. Oh, and this is some wine I'm sipping on. It's called Voyager Point. Thought I'd caveat and throw that in there real quick. Back to the point, though. Got these sucker butts who really believe as if me and you are supposed to, like, take what they're saying all for what it's worth, and they ain't put no feet on the ground to see what's going on. I'm telling you right now, Demetrius would never tell you how many trees are going to fall in the forest, even if he was 1,000 years old and had seen it this many times in his life. And it was like, you know what? I have a pretty good guess of how many trees are going to fall. But I would never tell you, oh, this is the number for sure. I might tell myself that in my head. But who am I to tell you that like I'm the Most High God and to espouse that to you? That's why they're wicked. I think it's awkward that you have people who go out of their way to try to make black people seem as if they don't know what they're talking about. Especially brothers like myself. I'm doing excellent. I hope you're doing excellent. Thank you for asking. Having said that, though, you got a group of black men and black women out here who feel as if it's their mission, it's their job to deem who's worthy and who's unworthy to talk up for black people. And I'm like, I'm telling any one of them, come see me at 115 North Yakima, apartment 507, Tacoma, Washington, 98403. Let's get it popping. Let's see if you want what Seattle police didn't want. And they ain't got no guns. I swear to God, they ain't got no guns. I swear to God, they ain't got no guns. Because I'm ready for them. They don't know. I got something for them, y'all. It ain't nice. Well, they run around here living their best life, right? You know, I'm living the life that I'm supposed to live, that I know I should live, which is to tell my people, let's get up out of here while there's still a chance for us all. And then we'll sort all the other finer tuned details out later. How long can they in white heaven turn down people who are at the border? What? Oh, you think Mexico's just gonna take that? And be like, I know we didn't do what black people did, but shit, in the last 30 or 40 years, we helped Jimmy rig a bunch of buildings that are falling down, right? We at least did that. They're not happy. They're like, shit, we helped Jimmy rig those buildings. Shit, we better let me back up in here so I can Jimmy rig some more. So you can send bruh man behind me to fix it. He said, look, I'm a part of a strong economy. All right. I'm gonna tear some up. Bruh man gonna fix it. White man gonna give me the credit. Everything is all good. Right? I'm just saying. This is real life. My man over here giggling. He's trying to hold it in. I'm telling y'all. I'm not tripping. You know, this is what I do. This is what I do. I'm sad because one of my greatest admirers calls me Dusty, right? But what's sad is that she doesn't realize is that we're on the same page. Right on? I've been saying what you've been saying for years. My first message when I first came out is what you've been saying. I don't disagree with you. Why you come at my neck like I owe you something, or like you wanted me to be like you wanted me to be the one? I don't know. Stop. It's crazy. In white heaven, though, they listen to those people before they listen to me. Nothing I told y'all today was a fabrication, was crazy. It might have been, Meats is losing his mind for half a second, but no. Nope. Not even that. I kept it 1,000. And they know it's 1,000. Do we need to really get out the history book? Do we need to play my other White Heaven videos? Like while I screen share in those old White Heaven videos, all the information? What? I murderized them. I murderized whole YouTube. I changed the way. They don't even let people upload videos the same way no more because of me. And let you put the information on here no more because of me. I promise, y'all, it's because of what I did with the White Heaven videos. I'm telling y'all, I murderized them. I told their whole story. They were like, whoa, what did he just do? What did he just do? Because that's what happened. I'm telling you, Ball do wish he had hair to rip out. Feel me? Because he would have ripped all that shit out. Y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know. I'll be in here having a good old time. It's going to pop off. Don't worry. Don't worry. The next White Heaven is going to be, I'm going to need almost a month to put it together because it's going to be me taking pieces of different videos. It's going to take a little while to really download stuff and get the parts out of it that I really want and just to stress the information. And when I say that it's the big one, I'm pretty sure we're on the verge of the big one, y'all. See, the big one, ancient American lore, if there's a such thing, that the next great American war would be fought on this soil. But the big one was actually prophesized hundreds of years ago, right on, like back in like the Revolutionary War, like, you know what I mean? Like they knew that this place was gonna fall. So they try to make it seem like the battle for its soul was gonna be like that day. It's like, nah, actually, this is the day where one of the vestiges of Babylon falls and is done and is complete and is finite. Right. Now, here's the part that I want y'all to find very interesting about Demetrius Antoine Jones. Damn, that's some good wine. Number one, I never come at y'all with the half-ass fuckduggery. If y'all want the information, I can get on my imported from IE, whatever. I can get on all my files. I can pull up some pages. We can read some information. That's whatever y'all want to do. But if y'all believe, if you believe your boy, and you can go back and look for all the different white heavens, just look for all the different live streams. For my expounds from way back in the day, I have been telling the people what it is for so long. I have not deviated. I've only gotten better. Obviously, wiser, older, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, as far as like what I feel is deliverance of the message is better. Sure, I could clean my language up all the way if I wanted to, but it's like, I'm in the land of unclean lips. Therefore, my lips are unclean. Can you dig? Some things I just have to say a certain way so that way I know that my message got across and it didn't fall on deaf ears. Let me ask you guys a question. The Most High God asked people to sell every piece of their article of clothing, right? So that way they can have one of these, right? How many people do you think took a little bit of their money and put $100 or $50 or whatever on just a cheap little sword? Because it's theirs to own. And it's not like a gun that doesn't make that in the fact that it doesn't make noise. See, don't worry. Come that day of whatever's going to happen, something crazy is going to happen. Maybe people won't want to use guns. Right. Have they ever thought about that? Has that ever crossed your mind? People who want to get free from Babylon, right? And you have relatives like I do who want to be equal to the devil. Has it ever crossed our minds that our relatives who want to be equal like the devil have never perceived that there may be a moment where in which the battle wand is no good? See, the Messiah was so wise. He was so intelligent. He's the smartest man I've ever read about. Having said that, he's so wise and so intelligent that when he's speaking on what defiles a man comes out of his mouth, not what goes into it, he's not speaking on the unclean. He's not speaking on the types of meats that one should abstain from. He's speaking on the matter of what is on thine hands. And if thine hands are dirty and you touch your bread, then thine bread is dirty. And art thou not defiled when thou eat it? That's the idea of the Pharisee. But the Messiah says, no. Don't you think a person is more wicked if they come to me and says, hey, this woman committed adultery, yet the man who she committed adultery with is not with her? So haven't they already sinned by bringing the adulteress and not the adulterer? Have you not? Oh, so you're going to pay half justice, huh? It's that sort of mentality. You don't understand. It's not that I know more than they do. I just believe more than they do. That's it. I just wholeheartedly believe. And I don't not believe. They they are wicked. They are cowards. They are wicked cowards. And I worry not for my own safety and my own health. Don't worry. They're going to be putting a whole lot on the line if they come up here. A whole lot. And that's how we get down, my people. You can't be afraid of your enemies. You can't be afraid of somebody who would seek to do harm to you either. And you can't not speak the truth because they don't want you to speak the truth. And you can't not speak the truth because you're afraid to speak the truth. See, sometimes you just have to know better and do the right thing. Sometimes you just have to just do the right thing without even knowing better. And this is why black people are going to be so lost, is because they have no natural feel of anything anymore. That our ancestors did. They just had a natural feel for what was right and what was wrong. They knew it. Why do you think MLK stood up? Even if he was blinded by certain ideals that this society sold to him, that the people of this society sold to him. See, I consider myself very fortunate because I spoke openly about going to the world court and they didn't assassinate me. They didn't blow my head off. They didn't kill me. But they did give me an extremist protection order so I couldn't leave the country. All the rest of them dead, though. That's a fact. So I always laugh because people don't understand like the kind of risk that I've taken. Do they know how terrified I was to get on a plane to go to Geneva? That I know that they could send down just because I want to do the right thing? And people will be thinking that it's just a plane that went down? Because I'm in white heaven and I have no choice but to do the right thing. I would much rather die than do nothing. I don't have videos of me going to a protest. I have paperwork that I can show you that are tangible charges that I received for standing up for another man. There was no need to protest for that man because he stayed alive. No need to protest for me because I just became another man who was locked away in the system, still fighting the system. I've never seek to make a name for myself off of the death of my brothers or the death of those who would be considered people that are of melanated skin. Not that it's a term that I use. I've lost this as much as anyone else has. And I'm willing to lose that much more if it means that my people will just get up and just leave this place. If I knew right now that black people would do the right thing, I'm, the most I got knows when I say like strike me dead right now, y'all think I'm joking or playing. Be in the middle of a live stream, you could just kill me right now. If I knew that y'all do the right thing, I'd be like, let's go. Y'all just don't know. It's just so sad because it's like black people don't want to do the right thing. They're so content on being losers. Losers of their heritage. That's right. Losers of their God-given right to live. And then losers of their mind. There's a whole bunch of rich losers. How about that? Billionaire losers. And they know it. Because they never had intestine. They've never had a backbone a day in their body. A day in their body, not a day in their life, a day in that body that they consider a life. They've never had a backbone in it. And they hate me for being who I am. They think I'm a fool. But this fool works his body out every day and his mind out every day. This fool puts into his body things that are righteous more than not, more so than not, every day, regardless of what he does. See, I used to be a loser in all those same ways. And I was like, I want to win. And if looking like a winner means being a loser to everybody else, I'll look like a winner to the Most High God. You're stuck in white heaven. Will you ever get out? I don't know. Do you have the gumption and the fortitude to tell your brothers that they have to pray their way out of here? Do you have the gumption and the fortitude to tell some of them that it's not up to them to pray their way out of here? It's up to them to wait for others to pray their way out of here. Do you have the mind to know that? It's not about intellect. It's about wisdom. One of my deepest problems is that as a child, I was a perfectionist, so much so that I would forego turning in a homework assignment that I thought was not proper. My teacher would be like, "Why didn't you just put in an answer?" Because I didn't want to be wrong. So I'd leave it blank. They couldn't understand that. To this day, people don't understand that. That's my way of saying that if I don't know, I don't know. And I'm not going to put something there that doesn't belong there. Ah. See, it's not as easy as they think it is to be a righteous person. And many of them have a they have an agenda that they're seeking to keep while they speak to the people, hoping that the people feed their lifestyle. I promise you, my lifestyle has been sustained and maintained. And nobody's had to suffer for it. One of these days, black people, you're going to wish that you had prayed your way up out of here if we don't get up out of here. Because the only other option is that the Most High God comes back and kills everybody. That's it. No one will be saved. See, I can't tell you the differences in the prophets' visions, because if I told you that, you look at those prophets a little bit differently, then you might want to go and listen, read those books and not want to listen to me as much as you should. But I'll tell you this much. All those visions actually aren't one congruent vision. Actually, some of those visions are different things that could happen based on different outcomes and scenarios, based on what people do and the decisions that they make. But that's neither here nor there. The Most High God be righteous, and he be praised. Your only way out of this is not through armed struggle with an oppressor that is clearly mightier than you still. Your only way out of this is through being a righteous people, and for all the other nations of the world seeing that your righteousness has not left you. And in that day, you will be rescued, and no other day. I hate for black people to think that I don't give them any hope. I give you hope. I give you real hope. I give you tangible hope. I give you the, if you work out for a year, you could lose 20 pounds hope. Right on? Word, that's going to stay off. You might lose 30 if you really work hard. Right. I'm the kind of guy who's like, if you need to lose 100 pounds in the next 5 years, okay, well, right, 20 pounds a year is the healthy way to do it without killing them, not hurting them. And maybe they lose a little more than what they need to lose, and they feel better about themselves. But we just need to get people to where they need to get to. And for the most part, people are not where they need to get to. There's a level of discipline and responsibility that all people must practice, from the highest to the lowest. How could the hewer of wood not believe that his job as a mover of the tabernacle was not important? Your job is just as important as the man who was going to deliver the message from the Most High God. What, do you want this tent to fall down on the man of God and kill him and crush him and the people inside? Do you want it to fall down on the Ark of the Covenant and to crush it and destroy it in its magnificence? A childish mind will think childish things. I'm going to end White Heaven on this note. It's going to not make a whole lot of people feel good, but it'll make the real brothers and sisters pat themselves on the back. See, the stories on the plantations that they don't want to tell are the stories where the slave lived long enough to actually inherit the plantation. Right on? For some odd reason, that's never been a movie. Right? You know what I mean? And that would be, and what the thing is that it would have been hundreds of slaves that this happened to. Okay? Right? We're talking about acres and acres and acres of land. Who were where in which the slaves cared so much for the master, right? We're actually just two people who have a relationship at a point. I'm not actually your slave. You're not actually my master. And we're just two people. And it don't have to be nobody who can pass for white. It's just a white person. Blonde hair, blue, white, and all that. Who just overstands, and they've grown past their insensibilities and become very sensible. And their own children don't want this. And then it goes on into how these people went on to have the land stolen from them during the deconstruction era. You know what I'm saying? And to pretty much have everything everything that they work for. Talking about lands that were totally ravaged, that were turned into pretty much living oases and paradises, okay, by black people, that have them stolen from them. It's, give me one moment, y'all. It's just a life that we have to live, you know. And it's a beautiful thing that we have to do. But if people could only understand that there's a story that was not told as to how black people inherited land in the first place, as to how it was taken from them in the first place. Right on? There's so much I have to tell you. And White Heaven, this review was just me just speaking to the level of who is and who's in and who's out. Because we need to know that. I'm not a coward. I'm not your enemy. I'm your brother. I'm your true humble servant. A true humble servant. Not one who's going to demean you. Not anymore, because I know better. I thank the Most High God for you guys giving me your time. I appreciate all of your time. Having said that, I'm ready to end this out. I'll be good.